نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يا ربي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. My respected elders, young brothers, friends, at this very moment we are sitting in the Q&A session which takes place every week, and many brothers and sisters ask a question about the matters of deen. Today some brothers have asked some questions. One of the questions which have been put forward is what is the benefit of sitting in the company of the pious? There are many benefits in this. A hadith which mentions that in the previous communities a person who killed 99 people and he went to one worshipper and he asked him that, is there a tawbah for me? He said, no, there is no tawbah for you. So he became furious and he killed him and he completed 100 people. So then he was told about an alim, scholar, that you should go to him and ask him. So he went to the alim and he asked him, I have killed 100 people, is there a tawbah for me? So the alim said, there is nothing that can become a barrier between you and your tawbah. And he said to him, go to this town or village wherein are people who are remembering Allah. You go over there, you sit with them, sit in their company, you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala along with them, and inshallah Allah will forgive you. So he set off from there, and yet he couldn't reach that town. While he was on his way, his death came. The death of angel came. Now, the angels of Azab and the angels of Rahmah both came. The angels of Azab were saying, we will take his soul because he killed so many people. And the angels of Rahmat were saying, no, we will take his soul because he was going with the intention of making tawbah. So, while he was, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this third angel and he said, look, just measure where he is now and where he came from and where he is going to. Whichever town or village he is near to, those angels will take his soul. If he is near to the city of the pious people, then the angels of Rahmat will take his soul. And if he is near to the city he came from, the city was a city of evil people, then the angels of Azab will take his soul. So when they measured, they found that he was near to the city of the pious people, and the angels of Rahmat took his soul. Now, what I'll try to explain you here, this man, he just came with the intention of Tawbah to join the pious people, and yet he could not join them. And on his way, the death came, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave him. Just imagine, he has not yet sat in the majlis of the pious people, and he was going to sit there, and the death came before that, and he was forgiven. So what about sitting in the majlis of the pious people? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our doctors many times quotes this hadith, that when the angels take the report to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this majlis of your servants was taking place, and the angels, they say, oh Allah, there was this one individual, he never came to do your zikr, he just came for some worldly reasons, he was just sitting there for some other reasons. His intention was not to do the zikr and sit with the people, he was sitting for some other reasons. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replies, Humul qawm la yashka bihim jalisuhum. They are such people, whosoever will sit in their company, he will not be deprived of my rahmat. I will forgive him as well. So just to imagine, just by sitting in the company of a pious people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even forgives that person who have just sat for other reasons. And this is confirmed when the pious people are sitting in their, upon them the rahmat of Allah descends. When they are sitting, the rahmat of Allah descends upon them, and whosoever will be sitting along with them, the rahmat of Allah will also descend on him as well. So how fortunate we are when we come to the masjid, when we come to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will find there will be so many pious people sitting in the masjid. There will be so many pious people living in the masjid, and we will be sitting in their company, or we'll be standing with them. When we are standing in the prayer, we are standing along with them in the rows. How lucky we are that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us this opportunity to be in the company of the pious people. And remember, these pious people on the day of judgment, they will intercede. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. Oh, believers, fear Allah and be with the pious and with the righteous. Allah is commanding us to be with them. On the day of judgment, there will al-akhillau yawma aydin ba'duhum li ba'din aduwwun illa al-muttaqin. On that day, the friends of this dunya, today, people feel proud of being, friend of so and so. But these very friends, they will turn to become your enemies, and their friendship will turn into enmity. But Allah says, illa al-muttaqin. But the friendship of the pious people, it will benefit us on the day of judgment. They will intercede for us, and they will take us to paradise. So we should make a dua to Allah. When we read about the biographies of our pious people, our ancestors, we find, the predecessors, we find that they used to make a dua that, Allah, I'm going to sow this and this city, or Allah, you grant me the company of the pious people. Let me sit in the company of the pious people. Because this hadith of Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ar-rajulu ala dini khalilihi. A person, he is influenced by his associates, the people he sits along with. So if we are sitting with the wrong people, then their influence will be upon us. And if we are sitting with the pious people, inshallah, we will benefit by their company, by sitting along with them. So there are so many benefits by sitting in the company of the pious people. The rahmat of Allah will descend, and Allah will forgive us, and these very people will intercede for us on the day of judgment, and they will ask Allah to forgive us and let us go into paradise. Someone is asking, for a person to be a Khalifa of someone, is it necessary that he is a scholar? Not at all. To become a Khalifa of any Sheikh, being a scholar, it's not a condition. How fortunate we are, we have our doctor here. He is a Khalifa of Hazrat Sufi Iqbal, Nawarallahu Marqadahu. Sufi Iqbal, Rahmatullah alayhi, he is buried in Jannatul Baqi. And Sufi Iqbal, Rahmatullah alayhi, was the Khalifa of Hazrat Shaykh Hadith Maulana Zakariya, Rahmatullah alayhi. And his Khalifa is Hazrat Dr. Sayyid Ashruddin. And how lucky I and you, all of you are, that we have such a personality amongst us in our masjid, and we get the chance to sit along with them and we read namaz with them. So being a Khalifa, it's not a condition that one has to be a scholar. When a person connects himself with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his bond with Allah is strong, then their mentors and their murshids, they give them the ijaza and the permission to carry on this work. So it's not a condition to become a Khalifa of someone that one has to be an alim. It's not a condition, and non-alim can become a Khalifa. Brother, you asking these questions over again and again, and these questions already have been answered regarding second Jummah. I myself have answered Maulana Sahib also. He answered. You're asking a few more questions. We've answered these questions about what you asking about Jummah and something else. So there's no point repeating those questions again and again. We've answered the questions. So I hope you've understood our answers which we gave in our previous sessions. Someone is asking, you mentioned daily wazaif of mother of Maulana Ilyas Rahmatullah alayhi. Can you please give the reference so we can mention these mamulats to others as well with proof? Well, there is a book called Life and Mission of Hazrat Maulana Ilyas Rahmatullah alayhi. You can find these mamulats there of his mother. And Maulana Zakir Rahmatullah alayhi, in his Abiti, his biography, you will find it there. He writes the mamulats and daily wazaif of his grandmother in his Abiti. His Maulana Zakariya's grandmother, I mentioned this on Friday, in one of the Fridays, that she, in the month of Ramadan, she used to finish 40 Qurans in the month of Ramadan, a woman. And along with this, she used to do all the housework, and not only the recitation of Quran, istighfar and Durood Sharif, in thousands, and like Rabbi Anni Masani Durru, Rabbi Anni Maghlubun Fantasir, La ilaha illa anta, these, thousands, 5,000 times Durood Sharif, 5,000 times istighfar, Rabbi Anni Masani Durru, even Bismillah. Maulana Zakariya, after writes in his Abiti, she used to do the wazifa of Bismillah every day 1900 times. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, 1900 times. So, these are the moments, our mothers and sisters, should read about. And this will give them a boost and encouragement. So you can look into it's written by Maulana Abul Hasan Nadwi Rahmatullah alayhi, Life and Mission of Maulana Ilyas Rahmatullah alayhi. Aqiqah, is it sunnat or wajib? Aqiqah, it's not wajib, it is sunnat of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And asking how many animals are on behalf of a girl and how many are on behalf of a boy. On behalf of a girl, there is one animal, and on behalf of a girl, one, and boy, two. But if one cannot afford, if he's got a boy and he cannot afford two, then he can give one. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he slaughtered one animal on behalf of Hazrat Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu. This is according to your means. And if one cannot afford at all, then that's fine. And someone is saying, can the akika be given on behalf of many children, more than one? Well, it can be given, but it will not be sunnat. Sunnat is to slaughter an animal after 7 days after the birth of a child. This is a sunnat. But if you give after that, people they have children and then at once they give of 3 children or 4 children, it's nafli, that's fine. But it will not be counted as a sunnat then, because sunnat is on the 7th day. What about if parents have passed away and one was not obedient to them and he did not serve them, what should he do? Well, if a hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if someone's parents were not happy with their children and the parents passed away, now our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whosoever will do isal swab for his parents continuously, inshallah, on the day of judgment, he will be raised as an obedient child, an obedient son or a daughter. So we should never forget. We should never forget those relatives who have passed away, our parents if they have passed away, or other relatives. There's a hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The deceased, he is always waiting, that he should receive some isal swab from his friends or from his relatives. When he receives the reward of a good deed, this reward of a good deed is more beloved to him than the dunya and whatever is in the dunya. So we should never forget them. We should never forget our parents if they have passed away, or our other relatives if they have passed away. We should always remember them by doing isal swab. You can do, there's a question, what about can the swab of the recitation of Quran reach the deceased? Yes. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, he differs here, whereas the other 3 Imams, Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, and Imam Malik and Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, these 3 Imam, they say the recitation of the swab of the recitation of Quran does reach the deceased. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, his opinion is another opinion. And they say Imam Qurtubi rahmatullah alayhi writes about Sheikh Izzuddin bin Abdul Salam. In his time, he used to give a fatwa that the recitation of Quran, its reward does not reach the mayyit, the deceased. He used to give fatwa that the reward of the recitation of Quran, it does not reach the mayyit. He used to give fatwa. When he passed away, and one of his students saw him in the dream, and he said to him, "Oh Sheikh, you used to give fatwa when you were alive in dunya that the swab of the recitation of Quran does not reach the mayyit. Now you tell me, because you have gone to that dunya now, the other world now, the akhirat. Now what do you say?" He said, "Oh my shagird, I used to give fatwa in dunya that the reward of the recitation of Quran does not reach the mayyit. Now I'll tell you, I take my fatwa back and I say to you, the reward does reach. I've come to this here now, to Alim Barzakh now, I've seen it does reach the mayyit, the reward of the Quran." So we can benefit our loved ones who have passed away by giving sadaqah on their behalf, by recitation of Quran, or by reading nafli ibadat, nafli namaz, and we can send and convey the reward of our nafli ibadat to our loved ones who have passed away. Well, brothers, you asked me, these questions already have been answered. You asking a workshop why there is no workshop taking place in LIC. Well, we just had one workshop, janaza workshop, recently. I don't know if you are aware of this or not. The brother was asking the question, and you asking that the masjid is only interested in doing chanda. Well, can I say to you something? Without chanda, how this big organization going to run? The cost of this, there are about 100,000, the cost of this masjid annually. So how's this going to happen? Doing chanda, I don't know why, you're so furious by this chanda business. Chanda, every mosque does chanda, not only Islamic Center. Everyone, this donation is collected from in every mosque. Everyone does this. What's wrong with this? The people who are coming to the masjid, they are getting the chance to give sadaqah, to lillah in the masjid. A time will come when there will be a time that a person will want to give something in the path of Allah. He will not be able to give. So before the death, give whatever you can give to the poor, give to the masjid. You give £1 to the masjid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in exchange of this, He will build a palace for you in the paradise. So I don't know why you have so much objection on this. The masjid is doing chanda, Islamic Center is doing chanda, every mosque does chanda. Every mosque does chanda, every mosque collects, the collection takes place in every mosque, not on Islamic Center. Why you have objection on LIC that they are just interested in collection? Why is this? Why do you have so this grudge against the masjid? This is a masjid, house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything is happening here, and if you're not aware, come in the masjid and see what's happening here. We have a youth club on Thursday. We have youth club on Friday. This is happening. We had a workshop recently, and inshallah in future we will have a workshop for the women, janaza workshop for the women. So these things are happening. And why you bring in the chanda business here? What's that got to do with these workshops? The chanda is done everywhere. Why are you objecting on this? It seems that maybe I don't know why you are saying this. Workshops not taking place here. Workshops are taking place here, but I think you were not here then. You were out of the country or somewhere. We publicized, and we everywhere on the WhatsApp groups in the masjid was announced that the janaza workshop will be taking place. So, my dear brother, chanda collection, it is not only the Islamic Center is doing it, every mosque does it. Go through the whole UK, you will find everywhere this is done, because the running costs of the every masjid it will only be covered by your donation, and people are getting a chance to give to the Allah and to the house of Allah. We are very lucky that we can give. We are very lucky that we can give to the masjid or to the poor people. We should thank Allah that you are giving us the opportunity that whatever we possess, we are giving in your path, in your way. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this majlis of Q&A and make it means of our seeking the knowledge. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa Maulana Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.